It began with silence. Not the kind of silence that feels empty, but the kind that carries weight, as if the air itself was waiting for something extraordinary to happen. When fans logged on to watch Jungkook's birthday celebration this year, nobody expected what they were about to witness. The cameras caught his smile at first, that familiar lighthearted expression everyone knows and loves. But then, in a moment that shocked millions of armies across the world, tears rolled down his cheeks. And what triggered them wasn't the massive wave of birthday wishes, or even the breathtaking event planned by his team. It was Taehyung. The mystery of why Jungkook cried that night has since become one of the most talked about moments in BTS history. Why did this birthday, out of all the birthdays he has celebrated, strike so deeply in his heart? What did Taehyung say or do that left both Jungkook and ARMY in tears? To understand the weight of that moment, we need to rewind and remember what birthdays mean in the world of BTS. For most people, a birthday is about cake, candles, and laughter. But for Jungkook, who grew up under the spotlight from such a young age, birthdays are far more complicated. Every year, ARMY from every corner of the globe mobilizes to celebrate him. Billboards in New York's Times Square light up with his face. Trains in Seoul get decorated with his name. Charity projects in his honor feed thousands of families. It's overwhelming, not just in scale, but in meaning. His birthday is no longer just his, it has become a global movement, a celebration of what he represents to millions. And yet, amidst all of this, Jungkook remains that same humble boy who once dreamed of singing, dancing, and simply making people happy. This year, though, the atmosphere was different. Taehyung, who is not only a bandmate but also one of Jungkook's closest friends, had prepared something personal. It wasn't grand in the way ARMY's projects are grand. It wasn't flashing lights on a giant screen or a trending hashtag dominating the world. It was simple, quiet, and deeply personal. And sometimes, that kind of intimacy has more power than the largest stage. During the live stream, Taehyung walked in holding something small in his hands. Fans couldn't see it clearly at first, but Jungkook's reaction gave everything away. His eyes widened, then immediately filled with tears. He covered his face, unable to hold it in. The world paused in that moment. ARMY watching from their phones and computers felt the sting of tears themselves, without even knowing exactly what was happening, and that is the power of authenticity. In an age where everything is polished, rehearsed, and marketed, the raw honesty of Jungkook's tears broke through every layer of production. It reminded everyone watching that at the heart of BTS's global empire lies something very human: friendship, gratitude, and genuine emotion. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. From a branding perspective, that moment was more than emotional, it was powerful. Businesses and artists around the world struggle every day to connect with people in ways that feel real. They design campaigns, create strategies, invest millions in advertising, and still fail to make audiences feel something. Yet here, with just a small gesture from Taehyung and Jungkook's vulnerable reaction, an entire global community felt connected. This wasn't business as usual. This was brand growth rooted in trust, empathy, and authenticity. Think about it. BTS didn't become the biggest band in the world just because of their music. Music may have been the entry point, but it was their story, their personalities, their struggles and triumphs that turned listeners into ARMY. Every tear, every laugh, every behind-the-scenes moment has built a brand stronger than steel. And Jungkook's birthday was another chapter in that book, one that reminded fans why they stay, why they care, and why they keep giving back. In the middle of the celebration, Jungkook tried to compose himself. He laughed through the tears, shaking his head as if to say, "I didn't expect this." Taehyung smiled beside him, not needing to say much. Their friendship spoke louder than words. Fans around the world clipped that moment, shared it across platforms, and within hours, the phrase "Jungkook tears" was trending everywhere. Not because it was scandalous, not because it was shocking in a negative sense, but because it was real. Here's the teaser. What exactly did Taehyung give Jungkook? The mystery still lingers, as the cameras never fully revealed it. Some fans speculate it was a handwritten letter. Others believe it was a small piece of jewelry carrying symbolic meaning. Whatever it wasn't about the object itself. It was about the thought, the intimacy, and the years of shared experiences between two friends who have grown up together under the brightest lights in the world. That lingering mystery keeps fans coming back, keeps the story alive, keeps the community buzzing with curiosity and love. The climax of the night came when Jungkook, still teary-eyed, looked into the camera and thanked ARMY. His voice cracked as he said how grateful he was not only for the celebrations, but for the way fans continued to support him through every chapter of his life. It wasn't a polished speech. It wasn't rehearsed. It was Jungkook, raw and real, speaking from a place of vulnerability that artists often shy away from. That vulnerability, paradoxically, is what makes him so strong. The emotional closure of the night was simple but unforgettable. Jungkook and Taehyung laughed together, wiped away tears, and sang quietly, just the two of them. It felt less like a performance and more like a moment shared between brothers, accidentally captured for the world to see. For ARMY, it was a reminder that behind the fame, behind the headlines, behind the business of entertainment, these are still human beings who love, cry, and celebrate in ways that are deeply familiar to all of us. What makes this story more than gossip is the lesson it carries. In business, in art, in life, authenticity builds value. Growth doesn't always come from flashy moves or loud announcements. Sometimes it comes from being honest, from connecting in ways that are small but meaningful. Jungkook's tears weren't a weakness, they were a strength, a bridge between him and millions of people who saw themselves in his vulnerability. And Taehyung's simple gift? It became a symbol of how the deepest gestures often come in the smallest packages. For anyone watching, whether you're a fan, an entrepreneur, or someone chasing a dream, this moment offers inspiration. Be real. Be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to let people see who you are beneath the surface. That is where loyalty is built, where communities thrive, where dreams turn into legacies. And so, as the birthday celebration came to an end, Jungkook left fans with more than just a memory. He left them with a reminder of what truly matters. Not the size of the gift, not the scale of the event, but the sincerity of the heart behind it. If this story touched you, don't just watch it and move on. Carry it with you. Let it inspire you in your own journey, whether in your work, your relationships, or your dreams. And if you want to continue feeling connected to stories that move you, stay here with us. Subscribe, follow, share, because together, we're not just watching moments, we're building something bigger. Something as real and as lasting as the bond between Jungkook and Taehyung. It started with a silence that carried weight, the kind that feels like the world is holding its breath. When Jungkook appeared for his birthday celebration, ARMY expected laughter, smiles, maybe even playful chaos. But no one expected tears. As millions watched, Jungkook suddenly broke down, his eyes welling up until he couldn't hold them back. The trigger? Taehyung. This wasn't just another birthday filled with global fan projects and glittering billboards. It was something smaller, more intimate, and far more powerful. Taehyung appeared with a simple gesture. Something unseen clearly touched Jungkook so deeply that he could no longer hide his emotions. He laughed through his tears, shook his head in disbelief, and fans around the world cried with him. That's the power of authenticity. In a world of polished performances and carefully managed images, the raw honesty of Jungkook's tears broke through every barrier. It reminded ARMY that behind the global brand of BTS are real human bonds, real friendships, and real gratitude. And from a bigger perspective, it was a masterclass in connection. Businesses and artists chase attention with flashy campaigns, but here, a quiet moment between two friends moved millions.